Hi everyone, this is Mindy Egan and welcome back to another video with my favorite things. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to color on vellum with your Copic markers for a beautiful, delicate look. A quick look at some of the stamp sets that I'll be using today is the all lined up diagonally background stamp. I also have the Right at Home Sentiments stamp set, and I'll also be using the Spread Your Wings small stamp set with these cute little delicate butterflies. I'm starting with a piece of vellum lined up in my misti tool, and I'm going to bring in a couple of those butterflies off of the Spread Your Wings stamp set. I'm going to prep the vellum with an anti-static powder tool because I'm going to be heat embossing, and I want to make sure that the embossing powder only sticks to my ink. Then I'm going to ink up the images with Versamark ink, so any clear sticky ink you have will work for this. And then you could use any color of embossing powder that you prefer. I am using a white detail embossing powder here. I will show you an example of it embossed in black too later on in the video. Then after my heat tool is really nice and hot, I'm going to bring that over and melt that embossing powder. So to do this technique, you are going to flip over your vellum. We are going to be coloring on the back side of our heat embossed image. I'm going to do kind of a two-tone look with my Copic markers, and I have a couple tips that I want to share with you while I was doing this. So to start off with, I am using a B16. So this is a pretty vibrant blue, and I found the more vibrant of a color I used, the better it showed through on the other side. I started from the middle of the butterfly and just added some color going out towards the ends of the wings. And I left room for a V17, so I'm coloring the ends of the wings with that dark purple. Now, you don't want to color over this too many times. I found that the more I went over the color with my Copic marker, the more it was taking that ink away or leaving streak marks. You can color in little circular motions. That helps as well. And another thing that I found is that as I was dragging that purple into the blue, these colors do not blend very well on vellum. It's not like coloring on cardstock. So you want to just be real careful on how much you're blending into the next color so that you're not taking away from the color you already laid down. The other colors that I'm using for my larger butterfly is R46 and YR09. And I just really love this look. It gives a very ethereal kind of look to your butterflies, very soft and delicate and just very unique. So here's a quick look at the butterflies colored in. It shows up a lot better on that white cardstock. And here's what they look like stamped in VersaFine ink with clear embossing powder. Next, I'm going to just take those coordinating dies, line them up over the images, hold them in place with low tack tape, and run these through my die cut machine. Now I can work on the rest of my card. So this all is pretty simple and pretty basic. I am taking that all lined up diagonally stamp set, lined it up in my misti, and then I have a piece of white cardstock that I added a little bit of adhesive to on the back. I lined that cardstock up on the stamp set and then closed my misti backwards. That way my cardstock is lined up in my misti exactly where I want it. And I'm going to stamp this background stamp in the Eiffel Tower ink from My Favorite Things. So I will just apply that ink over the entire background, close the door of my misti, and stamp that down. Then while I have my misti out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp a sentiment, and this is going to be off of the Right at Home stamp set. And I'll be using a misti corner to help me line that up straight onto my card piece here. This card front, or that I'm using to stamp my sentiment on, is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And I did also want to note that the Spread Your Wings stamp set and the Right at Home stamp set will be available on the MFT website on May 4th, 2021. So to have some consistency, I'm also going to stamp this sentiment in the Eiffel Tower ink. And I really like this because it's a nice dark gray. So it's not quite in your face like a black. It's just kind of that subtle dark gray to it. Really pretty color. Now I lined up this card piece with a few layers of cardstock that I had attached together, and that just gives me some dimension. Then I can add my card front right on top of that. Once that's attached, I'll add adhesive to the back of this, and I'm going to add it to my stamped panel. I like how I'm leaving just enough room to show that design in the background, but it's not overtaking the card. Then I can attach my butterflies. Now I was going to attach them with just some liquid glue, but because the body of it is embossed, I thought that would be enough to hide any foam tape. So I cut a really skinny strip of foam tape, and I'm going to line that up right behind the body on the butterfly. After I've attached little pieces of foam tape behind each of the butterflies, I'll remove the backing of that foam tape, and I'm going to place them one right above the sentiment and one right below. I also really like that Eiffel Tower ink because it's not clashing with any colors that I used with my butterflies. So these butterflies are really standing out because they're the only color on the front of the card. Then I'm going to finish this off by taking just a glitter gloss pen, and I'm adding sparkle all over the top of the butterfly. That just adds a little bit of shimmer but doesn't take away from the color that I have underneath. So here's a close-up look. The glitter you can really see better in person, but you can kind of catch a little bit of shine there. I think this is a really fun technique and can be applied to many different images, including floral images would be gorgeous to use this on. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again next time.